Welcome to the DIY Clamshell Cyberdeck build guide. In this video, we are going to build a fully functional clamshell laptop from scratch, using just 2 products you can order from Amazon UK today. No soldering, no 3D printing, no special tools whatsoever. When we are done, you will have a portable Raspberry Pi 5 laptop that runs a full desktop operating system, has a proper keyboard and touchpad, a built-in battery, and a 14-inch screen. It looks like a laptop. It works like a laptop. You built it yourself. Let us get started. So what exactly is a Cyberdeck? A Cyberdeck is a custom-built portable computer, inspired by retro science fiction aesthetics and the modern maker movement. The name comes from William Gibson's Neuromancer, where hackers used portable decks to jack into cyberspace. In the real world today, people build Cyberdecks as functional personal computers, designed from the ground up by the builder, not by a corporation. What makes this build special is how minimal it is. Traditional Cyberdecks involve 3D printed enclosures, custom wiring, battery management circuits, and hours of fabrication. This build collapses all of that into 2 off-the-shelf products that connect with a single cable. You get all the satisfaction of a self-built machine, without the complexity of a traditional maker project. The Raspberry Pi 5 handles all the computing. The CrowView Note laptop provides the clamshell chassis, screen, keyboard, and battery. Together they form a complete, polished, Cyberdeck laptop. List 1 is the shopping list. You only need to buy 2 things. Item 1 is the iRaspTech Starter Kit for Raspberry Pi 5, with 16 GB of RAM. This is a complete bundle that includes the Pi 5 board, an aluminium case with active cooling, a 128 GB micro SD card preloaded with Raspberry Pi OS, and a 27-watt USB-C power supply with a UK plug. Everything the Pi 5 needs to run is in one box. Item 2 is the CrowView Note 14-inch laptop. This is the clamshell shell of the Cyberdeck. It contains a 14-inch Full HD screen, a full laptop keyboard, a multi-touch touchpad, a 5000 mAh built-in battery, and critically, a dedicated Raspberry Pi 5 bridge adapter that comes in the box. Both items are available on Amazon UK. We will go through each one in detail right now. Let us look at item 1 in detail. The iRaspTech Starter Kit for Raspberry Pi 5 with 16 GB of RAM. The Amazon UK product page is at the ASIN code B.0G.4MCWDBK. You can see the link at the bottom of this screen. The centerpiece of this kit is the Raspberry Pi 5 board itself. This is the most powerful Raspberry Pi ever made. It uses a quad-core ARM Cortex-A76 processor running at 2.4 GHz, paired with 16 GB of LPDDR4X RAM. For context, most Raspberry Pi 5 units ship with 4 or 8 GB. 16 GB puts this board firmly into laptop territory. You will be able to run a full desktop environment, browse the web with dozens of tabs open, write code, compile projects, and even do some light media work, all from this tiny green circuit board. The iRaspTech kit bundles everything you need around that board, so you do not have to source any accessories separately. Let us look at the Raspberry Pi 5 circuit board itself. At the center of the board is the Broadcom BCM2712 system on chip. This contains 4 ARM Cortex-A76 cores clocked at 2.4 GHz. These are proper high-performance cores, the same architecture used in some flagship smartphones from 2021 and 2022. The 16 GB of LPDDR4X memory sit in a package-on-package arrangement directly on top of the processor. Running at 4267 MHz, this is fast, low-power memory. Along the top edge of the board is the 40-pin GPIO header, compatible with all existing Raspberry Pi accessories and hardware add-ons. On the right side you will find 2 USB 3.0 ports in blue, and 2 USB 2.0 ports in black. At the bottom are two micro HDMI ports supporting up to 4K at 60 frames per second, a USB-C port for power input, a 3.5mm audio jack, and a micro SD card slot. On the left side is a gigabit Ethernet port. The board also includes Wi-Fi 5 and Bluetooth 5.0 built in, so you do not need any dongle or adapter for wireless connectivity. Now let us go through exactly what arrives in the iRaspTech box. First, the Raspberry Pi 5 board, already installed inside an aluminium alloy case. The case is machined aluminium, which acts as a heatsink for passive cooling. On top of the case sits an active cooling fan with PWM speed control. The fan automatically adjusts its speed based on the processor temperature. Thermal pads are pre-applied between the chips and the case interior, so you do not need to apply any thermal compound yourself. Second, a 128GB micro SD card. This is already formatted and loaded with the latest version of Raspberry Pi OS. That means the moment you power on the Pi 5, it boots straight into a desktop. No flashing. No terminal commands. No setup wizard to wrestle with. Third, the official Raspberry Pi 27W USB-C power supply, with a UK 3-pin plug already fitted. This is important, because the Pi 5 requires more power than previous models. Underpowering it causes performance throttling and instability. The 27W supply means your Pi 5 will always run at full speed. Now for item 2. The Electro View Note 14-inch laptop. The Amazon UK ASIN is B.0DZXN.4J.9M. You can see the link at the bottom of your screen. A laptop is essentially a laptop without a CPU. It is a clamshell enclosure containing a screen, keyboard, touchpad, and battery, designed to be driven by an external computer connected via USB-C. The View Note is one of the best laptops on the market for Raspberry Pi use. It has a 14-inch IPS panel at full HD resolution, 1920 by 1080 pixels. IPS means wide viewing angles and accurate colors. The keyboard spans the full width of the base, with proper spacing between the keys and a firm, positive action. The multi-touch touchpad supports tap to click, two-finger scroll, and pinch gestures. All of this is powered by a 5000 mAh lithium battery built into the base. That battery charges via USB-C and also powers the Raspberry Pi 5 through the same cable. One connection. One cable. Both the screen and the Pi 5 powered simultaneously. Let us zoom in on the View Note screen and battery. The display is a 14-inch IPS LCD panel with a resolution of 1920 by 1080 pixels. IPS stands for in-plane switching, a display technology that gives you consistent colors and brightness across wide viewing angles. Whether you are looking at the screen straight on or from the side, the picture remains clear and accurate. The 60Hz refresh rate is the standard for productivity laptops, and feels completely smooth for a desktop operating system. An anti-glare coating on the surface reduces reflections, making it comfortable to use near windows or under bright lights. Now, the battery. 5000 mAh is a substantial capacity for a laptop. This battery powers the View Note display and electronics, and simultaneously delivers power to the Raspberry Pi 5 over the USB-C cable. Real-world runtime on battery varies depending on what the Pi 5 is doing, but light use, such as writing, browsing, and coding should give you several hours of unplugged operation. When you need to charge, plug any USB-C charger into the side port. The battery charges while you continue working. The keyboard on the View Note is a full-size laptop keyboard. It uses chiclet-style keys with a standard layout including the function row across the top, a number row, full alphabet, and dedicated arrow keys. The key travel is good for a thin laptop, giving satisfying tactile feedback as you type. There is no backlighting, so you will need ambient light to see the key labels in the dark. The trackpad is positioned centrally below the spacebar, as you would expect on a MacBook or modern Ultrabook. It supports multi-touch gestures. Tap to click, two-finger scrolling, and pinch to zoom. Physical left and right click buttons are built into the lower edge of the pad. On the left side of the base you will find the connectivity. There is a full-featured USB-C port that carries power, display signal, and USB data. This is the port you connect the Raspberry Pi 5 to. There is a mini HDMI port for connecting an external monitor. 2 USB ports for keyboards, mice, USB drives, and other peripherals. And a 3.5mm stereo audio jack. Finally, and this is crucial, inside the Chromeview Note box is a small dedicated Raspberry Pi 5 bridge adapter. This is a clip, or cradle that physically holds the Pi 5 board on the back of the Chromeview base unit. Do not throw away the packaging until you have found this adapter. Before we move to assembly, let us talk about the total cost. The iRaspTech Pi 5 16GB starter kit costs approximately £110 to £130 on Amazon UK. Prices fluctuate, so check the current listing using the link at the bottom of this screen. The Electro Chromeview Note 14-inch laptop costs approximately £90 to £110. This brings the total build cost to roughly £200 to £240. Now, compare that to budget Windows laptops in that price range. A £220 Windows laptop typically has a slower processor, soldered in RAM you cannot upgrade, a lower quality screen with a TN panel rather than IPS, and an operating system loaded with bloatware. Your Cyberdeck has a faster ARM processor, 16GB of RAM that is effectively integrated, but higher spec, a proper IPS display, and a clean, open source operating system. More importantly, you know exactly what is inside, because you put it together. Both products are available with Prime delivery on Amazon UK. The links are on screen now. Now for list 2. The assembly guide. We have broken the build down into 10 clear steps. Every single step is straightforward, and requires no tools whatsoever. The entire process should take you less than 10 minutes the first time. Once you have done it once, you can connect and disconnect the Pi 5 in under 30 seconds. Here are the 10 steps. Step 1. Unbox the iRaspTech kit. Step 2. Inspect and check all contents. Step 3. Unbox the Chromeview Note. Step 4. Locate the Raspberry Pi 5 bridge adapter. Step 5. Open the Chromeview Note lid. Step 6. Attach the bridge adapter to the Chromeview. Step 7. Mount the Pi 5 on the bridge adapter. Step 8. Connect the USB-C cable. Step 9. Power on the Chromeview. Step 10. Complete the first boot and initial setup. Let us walk through each step now in detail. Step 1. Unbox the iRaspTech starter kit. Find a flat, well-lit surface to work on. Open the top of the iRaspTech box. The main component you will see first is the Raspberry Pi 5 sitting in its aluminium case. Lift the case out carefully. It is heavier than you might expect, because the aluminium enclosure is a solid machined block of metal. This weight is a feature, not a flaw. The mass of the aluminium acts as a thermal reservoir, absorbing heat from the processor and radiating it away passively, supplemented by the active fan on top. Inside the box you will also find the micro SD card in a small protective sleeve, the 27-watt USB-C power supply with the UK plug attached, and a short USB-C cable. A word of advice. Keep all the packaging until you have confirmed that everything works correctly. If anything needs to be returned, you will need the original packaging. Step 2. Inspect all the components. Before doing anything else, take a moment to check each item. Look at the aluminium case and find the small fan on top. Trace the fan cable down into the case. It should be connected to the Pi 5 board inside. If it has come loose in transit, you may need to open the case and reconnect it. Next, find the micro SD card slot on the bottom edge of the aluminium case. The 128GB card should already be inserted. Check that it is seated firmly and that the label mentions Raspberry Pi OS. Inspect the 27-watt USB-C power supply. The cable should be firmly attached, and the UK plug pins should be straight. At this stage, do not power anything on. We need to complete the full assembly before the first power on. Connecting the Pi 5 to the Chrome U Note before powering on ensures the operating system detects the display correctly on first boot. Step 3. Unbox the Chrome U Note laptop. Open the Chrome U Note box from the top. The laptop itself is wrapped in foam padding to protect it during shipping. Lift it out and set it on your work surface with the lid closed. Now look carefully inside the box for the accessories bag. This small bag contains several items. The most important one is the Raspberry Pi 5 bridge adapter. This is a small plastic or metal clip, roughly the size of a matchbox. It is specifically designed to hold the Raspberry Pi 5 board on the back of the Chrome U Note's base unit. The box should also contain a USB-C cable, possibly a mini HDMI cable, and a warranty card or quick start guide. Take everything out and lay it on the table. Identify the bridge adapter before moving on. It may be labeled, or it may simply be the only component you do not immediately recognize. If you are unsure, check the Chrome U Note product listing images on Amazon to see what the adapter looks like. Step 4. Identify and examine the Raspberry Pi 5 bridge adapter. This small component is what turns the Chrome U Note into a Cyberdeck. Without it, you would need to rest the Pi 5 board loosely against the back of the laptop, which is messy and impractical. The bridge adapter is a cradle that connects to a port on the back of the Chrome U base, and provides a secure mounting position for the Raspberry Pi 5 board. Turn the adapter over in your hands, and look at it from all angles. One side has a connector that plugs into the Chrome U Note. The other side has a frame or slot that the Pi 5 slots into. Some versions of this adapter use a dedicated proprietary connector. Others use a USB-C to USB-C pass-through arrangement. The exact design may vary depending on which revision of the Chrome U Note you received. If you are unsure how it attaches, search for your specific adapter model on YouTube, or look at the step-by-step images in the Chrome U Note product listing on Amazon. The link is shown at the bottom of this screen. Step 5. Open the Chrome U Note lid. Hold the base of the Chrome U Note firmly with your non-dominant hand. The base contains the keyboard, touchpad, battery, and all the electronics. Place your other hand on the front edge of the screen lid, and lift. The hinge should feel firm and positive. A quality laptop hinge holds the lid at whatever angle you set it to, without flopping forward or snapping back. Open the lid to approximately 135 degrees, which is the standard working position for a laptop. Take a moment to look at the Chrome U Note with the screen visible. Even without anything connected, the screen looks like a proper laptop. That is because it is a proper laptop display. Now, with the lid open, look at the back of the base unit. There is a port or connector point where the bridge adapter will attach. On most Chrome U Note units this is on the upper rear face of the base, close to the hinge. This is where we will attach the bridge adapter in the next step. Step 6. Attach the bridge adapter to the Chrome U Note. Take the bridge adapter and orient it correctly. The connector end should face the port on the back of the Chrome U base. Gently bring the adapter to the port and press the connector in. It should slide in smoothly with gentle pressure. You may feel or hear a small click as the connector seats fully. Do not force the connection. If the adapter is not going in smoothly, stop and check the orientation. Rotate it 180 degrees and try again. Connectors that require force are always in the wrong orientation. Once the adapter is seated, it should feel solid and stable. Give it a gentle wiggle. A correctly connected adapter will barely move. The adapter may also have small clips or tabs that lock it to the Chrome U body. On some revisions, small screws are provided for a permanent installation. For most users, the clip-in connection is perfectly stable for everyday use. With the bridge adapter attached, the back of the Chrome U now has a cradle ready to receive the Raspberry Pi 5. Step 7. Mount the Raspberry Pi 5 on the bridge adapter. Pick up the aluminium case containing the Raspberry Pi 5. Orient it with the fan facing upward, which is the same direction as when it sits on a desk. Look at the bridge adapter you just attached to the Crow View. You will see a slot, channel, or frame, where the Pi 5 case slots in. Carefully bring the Pi 5 case to the bridge adapter, and slide it into position. On some bridge adapter designs, the Pi 5 sits horizontally on the back of the Crow View. On others, it clips vertically. Check the product images on Amazon for your specific adapter layout. As you seat the Pi 5, make sure the USB-C port on the Pi 5 board is aligned with the cable access opening on the adapter. You will need to reach this port with a USB-C cable in the next step. Once positioned, the Pi 5 should sit firmly with no rocking or wobbling. The bridge adapter is designed to grip the Pi 5 securely enough that the whole assembly can be carried and moved without the Pi 5 falling out. Stand back and look at the Crow View Note now. You have a laptop with a Raspberry Pi 5 mounted on the back. It already looks the part. Step 8. Connect the USB-C cable between the Pi 5 and the Crow View Note. This is the most important connection in the entire build. Take the USB-C cable from the Crow View Note box. USB-C connectors are reversible, so there is no wrong way to plug them in. Start at the Raspberry Pi 5 end. On the Pi 5 board, there is a USB-C port on the bottom edge of the board. This is the power input port. Plug one end of the cable firmly into this port. Now connect the other end to the Crow View Note. On the left side of the Crow View base you will find the USB-C port. Make sure you are using the full-featured USB-C port, not a power-only port. The full-featured port carries the USB 3.0 data signal, the power delivery current, and the display signal, all on the same cable. Plug the cable in firmly. It should snap in with a positive click. Give both connections a gentle tug to confirm they are fully seated. A loose connection here will cause the screen to flicker or the keyboard to stop working. This one cable is doing the work of 4 separate connections. It is powering the Pi 5. It is sending the video output from the Pi 5 to the Crow View screen. It is connecting the Crow View keyboard and touchpad as USB input devices, all simultaneously. That is the elegance of modern USB-C. Step 9. Power on the Crow View Note. The power button on the Crow View Note is typically on the left edge of the base unit, near the ports. On some models it is on the right edge. It is a small button, often with a power symbol or an LED indicator beside it. Press and hold the power button for approximately 2 seconds. You will feel the button click, and the screen backlight will illuminate. The Crow View Note is now powering on, and simultaneously delivering power to the Raspberry Pi 5 through the USB-C cable. Wait a few seconds. You will see the Raspberry Pi 5 begin to boot. First, a brief rainbow square appears in the top left corner of the screen. This is the Pi bootloader confirming it has found valid firmware on the SD card. The rainbow square is replaced by the Raspberry Pi OS boot logo, a stylized image of a red raspberry. Below the logo, a loading progress bar may appear. After approximately 20 to 40 seconds on first boot, the Raspberry Pi OS desktop environment will appear on the Crow View screen. You may be prompted to complete a brief first run setup wizard, covering your language, time zone, and keyboard layout. Your Cyberdeck is alive. Step 10. Complete the first boot and initial operating system setup. Raspberry Pi OS will walk you through a short setup wizard on first launch. You will be asked to select your country, language, and time zone. Choose United Kingdom, English, and Europe/London respectively. Next, set a username and password for your user account. Choose something secure but memorable. The wizard will then ask you to connect to a Wi-Fi network. Click your network name in the list and enter your Wi-Fi password. The Pi 5 has Wi-Fi 5 built in, so this will work without any dongle. After the Wi-Fi step, the wizard will offer to run a system update. Accept this. It downloads the latest versions of all installed software. Depending on your internet connection speed, this may take a few minutes. Once the update completes, reboot the Pi 5 by going to the application menu in the top left, selecting Logout, and then Reboot. After rebooting, you are running a fully up-to-date Raspberry Pi OS. Your Cyberdeck is complete and ready to use. You can install software from the recommended software menu, browse the web using the pre-installed Chromium browser, write code using the pre-installed Thonny, or install VS Code, or connect to your home network and access files remotely. Before we wrap up, let us cover a few common issues you might encounter. First, if the screen stays black after pressing the View power button. This sometimes happens if the USB-C cable is not fully seated. Unplug both ends of the USB-C cable and reconnect them firmly. Make sure you hear or feel the connector click into place. Also check that the Pi 5 SD card is inserted. No SD card means no boot. Second, if the Raspberry Pi 5 is not recognized by the View, try the other USB-C port if the View has more than one. Some laptop revisions have a primary data port and a secondary power-only port. The correct port for data is usually labeled DP or has a lightning bolt symbol. Third, if the keyboard or touchpad is not working, the keyboard and touchpad signal travels through the same USB-C cable as the video and power. A partially seated cable connector can drop the USB data signal while still passing power and video. Reseat the cable firmly at both ends. Fourth, if the Pi 5 runs hot or throttles performance, check that the fan cable inside the iRaspTech aluminum case is connected. You can monitor CPU temperature in Raspberry Pi OS by opening a terminal and typing the command vcgencmd measure temp. Normal operating temperature under load is 50 to 70 degrees Celsius. And that is the complete DIY Clamshell Cyberdeck build guide. Let us do a final recap. You need two products. The iRaspTech Raspberry Pi 5 16GB starter kit, available on Amazon UK at the ASIN code B.0G.4MCWDBK. And the Electro View Note 14-inch laptop, available at the ASIN code B.0DZXN.4J.9M. Both links are shown on screen right now. You connect them with a single USB-C cable that comes in the View box. Attach the included bridge adapter to mount the Pi 5 on the back of the laptop. Power on by pressing the View power button. Boot into Raspberry Pi OS, which comes preloaded on the included SD card. The entire process takes under 10 minutes. No soldering. No tools. No custom parts. The result is a genuine clamshell laptop that you built, powered by the most capable Raspberry Pi ever made, with 16GB of RAM, full desktop Linux, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and a beautiful 14-inch screen. Thank you for watching. Good luck with your build.